Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I'm super excited for this conversation because I'm joined by Chellappa, who is the president and co-founder of Engagedly, an Inc. 5000 company. Its people strategy management software redefines performance management, employee engagement, and development to enable organizations to build highly engaged, high-performance teams. Shri, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, Shalom. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I know you're so passionate about thinking about how today's workplaces should be led and managed, but I love to get to know the person behind the microphone. How did you come up with this concept for this incredible startup?
You know, I spent about 20 years in consulting, working for Big Four, and then ran a consulting firm myself. And I noticed, most of my clients are in the Fortune 1000 spectrum. And I noticed a lot of disengagement in the organizations, either because they were passed over for promotions or because they were not getting the right communication or not getting recognized for whatever reason, right? And what we realized is that organizations that do want to drive better culture could use better tools than what they have today, or at that point anyway. So that's what was the genesis of the idea of Engagedly, working with a partner. We built this platform really to drive better engagement within organizations, because as we know, better engagement leads to better outcomes for both the employee and the organization.
Absolutely, that's
so that was
huge.
the impetus behind that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I know how passionate you are. Again, I'm chatting with the president and co-founder of Engagedly, a incredible company. And I know, Shri, I know you've spent over 20 years leading organizations in technology and consulting. You've had 2 business exits. You're a Forbes contributor, top 50 tech visionary, and recognized specifically in the St. Louis business district, but around the world, which is incredible. So your advice to fellow entrepreneurs that are out there, what would you say of how your business specifically has been successful? And then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of what Engagedly is all about.
You know, the business eventually becomes successful when you have a really good product market fit. And sometimes you don't know what that is. So a lot of entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs actually struggle to figure that out before they start the business. And that's why a lot of them actually don't launch or exit prematurely, because they're trying to find this perfect solution before actually jumping into the business. So I tell entrepreneurs, really, even the people I've been coaching and mentoring and people who I just ask for advice, is that sometimes you just have to jump in and you'll figure out along the way what a good product market fit is for your solution, whether it's a software, whether it's a service, or whether it's a product, a physical product. And the only way to know is to actually go and talk to your customers, present them the solution, and then continue to refine your messaging and your product along the way. And it takes time. Sometimes it may take 2 years. Sometimes it may take 5 years. And so you need to have that grit and the wherewithal to sustain that journey.
Totally. And I know that you certainly talk a lot about publicly about mental and physical fitness when working that 60-plus hour work week, which I know we'll send people over to your website to share a lot more about that. But your motto at your company is level up your workplace. So how should leaders think about managing today's workplace, specifically in an environment where people are quitting in such large numbers?
You know, people are quitting in large numbers for one of the biggest reasons is lack of flexibility at your workplace. And then there are other reasons beyond that as well. So I think what, as leaders, we need to realize is that people have more agency in their career now, especially with the tight labor force that we have right now. Even with the impending recession, I don't think the tightness of the labor force is going away anytime soon, especially if you have a certain skill that's in demand, if you're especially in a digital world, for example. Whether you're in marketing, whether you're in sales, or whether you're in engineering, those skills are not going to be, something that's going to be available in large numbers for an employer. So you really have to respect that and give people agency in their careers. Work with them to understand what excites them, and what areas do they want to excel at, and give them areas that they really are learning and growing. So really focus on that rather than telling them what to do and then micromanaging them. I think that's not going to last very well.
Totally. And we're running out of time, and I want to squeeze in one more question because we touched already on that mental and physical fitness piece, which I know you're super passionate about. So how can you put in a 14-hour workday and maintain your physical and mental fitness? What advice would you have for our listeners?
I think that the biggest superpower that I have, or at least I claim to have, is I can take a nap anytime I want to, and I can get enough sleep that I want to. So I would say that the focus on sleep is extremely important. If you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep, you're not going to be very productive most of the time. Some people can get away with 5 hours or 6 hours, but I think a 7 hour sleep, roughly, give or take a little bit, is what I would recommend, is to get the sleep that you need to be successful. So if that means, turning off your phone and your Apple Watch or your computer or your TV, but at least 1 hour before bed, and making sure you go to bed undisturbed and get that sleep you want is extremely important. And the second thing is obviously diet and fitness.
Totally.
Enough has been said about that, so I would just leave it at that.
And we'll send people over to your website for a lot more. Again, I've been chatting with Sri Chellappa from Engagedly, an incredible organization. Sri, I want to get people in touch with you through your website. How can people reach you?
Yeah, so I'm Sri Chellappa. You can reach me on LinkedIn. Shrikant Chellappa is my full name. Last name Chellappa. Our company is engagedly.com, engagedly.com.
Sri, really appreciate you coming on, and I can't wait to have you back on for an extended conversation on all these topics. We've got to squeeze in a quick break. More small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship when we return in just a moment.